Miss Amina Khan stood in front of the school gate, gripping her satchel tightly. The morning air buzzed with energy, students laughing, cars honking, and the murmur of gossip rising like a tide. She took a deep breath, adjusting her scarf neatly over her shoulders. This was her first day as a literature teacher at Royal Crest High School, an elite but troubled institution where money often spoke louder than manners. She had fought her whole life for this moment, acing every qualification, surviving loss, and holding her dignity like a shield. But nothing prepared her for what awaited inside these polished marble hallways. The front office was polite but indifferent. Staff rooms that way, the receptionist mumbled without looking up. Amina smiled politely and made her way toward her new domain. Her heels clicked with purpose. Little did she know, eyes were already watching her. At the back of the hallway near room 34 stood a group of seniors. Rich, smug, and used to getting away with everything. Hamza, the ringleader, leaned against the locker like he owned the building. Flanking him were his usual enablers, Talha, skinny and sharp-tongued, Raheel, bulky and loud, and the ever-silent Bilal, whose blank eyes hid something dangerous. As Amina walked past, their conversation shifted from crude jokes to murmurs about the new teacher. Fresh meat, Talha smirked. Bet she's not ready for Royal Crest. Watch this, Hamza whispered, a wicked grin curling at his lips. As Amina passed, Hamza moved behind her, and with a disgusting slap, struck her from behind. The hallway fell into absolute silence. Amina stopped mid-step, frozen. The satchel slipped from her hand and hit the floor with a soft thud. A wave of humiliation flooded her. Not just because of the slap, but because of the laughter that followed, the echoing, mocking, cruel laughter. It felt like knives stabbing her pride. She turned slowly, her eyes burning with shock and disbelief. The group stared back at her, shameless, daring her to say something. Hamza raised his eyebrows mockingly. Oops. Didn't see you there, miss. Her chest rose and fell. The pain was deep. Her mind flashed back to her childhood, when boys tried to bully her in her village school, and her mother told her, never be loud. Be powerful. Those words pulsed in her veins like a battle cry. But not yet. This wasn't the place. Not the moment. So she did something that shocked them more than a scream. She picked up her bag slowly, looked straight into Hamza's eyes with a terrifying calm, and walked away. The group laughed again, but unease cracked beneath their voices. The staff room was no better. She expected solidarity, support, outrage. But most teachers averted their eyes. Some whispered behind her back. One older woman whispered, "You shouldn't dress like that here. These boys, they're wild." Another muttered, "Just keep your head down." Amina felt sick. Was this the culture? Cowardice masked as professionalism. That afternoon, as she stood before her first class, she taught Shakespeare's Macbeth. Her voice was steady, but her soul was on fire. "Fair is foul, and foul is fair," she quoted, watching the bullies sit smugly in the back row, whispering, laughing, planning more disrespect. But she didn't falter. She didn't flinch. She had a plan. Over the next few days, things escalated. They drew disgusting graffiti on her car. Threw paper balls during her lectures. They mocked her accent, her clothes, her calm. Every time, she swallowed the pain. But with every insult, she trained harder. Because what no one knew was that Amina Khan was a third dan black belt in Taekwondo. She had spent years mastering the art, not for glory, not for trophies, but for dignity, for survival. Her mother raised her to fight without fists unless the time demanded it. And now, that time was coming fast. One morning, she arrived at school early. The janitor whispered, "They've planned something big today. They think you're weak. But I've seen people like you before. You're just quiet before the storm." By lunchtime, whispers were everywhere. The bullies had cornered a new target, a shy scholarship girl named Hiba who'd dropped her lunch tray. As Hamza pushed her to the ground, Amina's voice sliced through the cafeteria. "That's enough." Every head turned. She walked straight toward the group. Calm. Measured. Hiba scrambled away in tears. Amina stood before Hamza, eye to eye. "What are you going to do?" "Give me detention," he smirked. No, she replied quietly. I'm giving you a chance. He snorted. A chance to what? To apologize. And never touch another student or staff again. His laughter was venomous. Or what, miss? And before anyone could blink, he did it again. Another slap. This time on her lower back. Cruel. Loud. Echoing. The entire cafeteria froze. And in that moment, it happened. Amina dropped her satchel. Her stance shifted. Her eyes locked like steel. The room turned to slow motion. And then, her spinning back kick came like a lightning strike. In one elegant, powerful move, her foot struck Hamza across the jaw with perfect precision. He flew off his feet, crashing onto the cafeteria table, food trays flying in all directions. Gasps filled the air. His friends jumped back in horror. She turned to face them. Anyone else? She asked, her voice calm but cold. No one moved. Phones were out. Recording. Streaming. The new teacher had just sent the school's biggest bully flying, without breaking a sweat. Hamza groaned on the ground, unable to move. His jaw possibly fractured. The silence was absolute. Amina picked up her bag, adjusted her scarf, and said only one thing. Respect is taught. Today, class is in session. And walked out of the cafeteria. By evening, the video had gone viral. New teacher destroys bully with spinning kick was trending. Millions viewed it within hours. The school board panicked. But something had shifted. Students who were afraid before walked taller now. Girls who once hid their pain began to speak up. Other teachers looked at her with new eyes. And Amina. She prepared for the storm that would follow. Because this story wasn't over. It had just begun.